Welcome to Adu Globe. Discover new ideas, learn exciting things, and be amazed every day. This video is created purely for educational and entertainment purposes. All the scenarios and questions discussed here are completely hypothetical and imaginative, with no connection to real-world events. We do not promote or support any form of war, violence, or hate. But, what if one day the future really looked like this? Thinking Face Rocket. Stay tuned and explore the possibilities with us. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the next big war in the world broke out? Thinking Face. Would it be fought with tanks, cannons, and rifles like in the past? Or this time, would the battlefield be filled with artificial intelligence, robotic soldiers, and drones? Would the next war remain limited to Earth, or could it even move into space, where satellites and space stations become the biggest targets? Rocket. Just imagine a future where battles are not only fought with bullets and explosives, but also on computer screens. Where instead of direct attacks, entire banking systems, the internet, and even the power grid could be shut down. What if one day the entire world faced a complete internet blackout? Would people be able to survive? And what if the war extended beyond Earth into outer space? What would happen if satellites were destroyed and the GPS system collapsed? Would future armies be equipped with space lasers and hypersonic missiles? Could humans one day even fight battles in colonies built on the Moon or Mars? Globe sparkles. Another question is, could the biggest wars of the future actually be fought over resources? Water, which is set to become the most valuable treasure of tomorrow, what if it becomes scarce? Or what if the race to control rare minerals begins? What would happen then? And the most important question of all, if robots and artificial intelligence grow stronger than humans, and start making decisions of war on their own, then what role will humans have left? Will we be able to control the machines we created, or will those machines eventually control us? Robot. All these questions might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie today, but the truth is that technology is advancing so fast that tomorrow's reality could be even more surprising than our imagination. So, let's find the answers to these questions as we move into our video, Movie Camera Rocket. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You are standing in the middle of a battlefield. The air feels heavy, the silence almost unnatural. Suddenly, a faint rumble echoes above, and within seconds, the sky turns dark. But these are not storm clouds. What you see are thousands of drones, swarming together like a flock of birds. Only this time, no human is holding the remote. They are moving, reacting, and deciding on their own, guided by advanced artificial intelligence. You can't help but wonder, how could any human force defend against something like this? Then, out of nowhere, a flash of light tears across the horizon. A hypersonic missile streaks through the sky, moving faster than your eyes can follow. It's traveling many times the speed of sound, leaving you to question, if weapons like this exist, can traditional defense systems even keep up anymore? Your gaze shifts to the ground, where you spot something even more unsettling. Marching across the battlefield are not humans, but robot soldiers. Their footsteps pound into the earth, steady and relentless. No emotions, no fear, no hesitation. They don't tire, they don't sleep, and they don't ask questions. They simply execute orders, and in that moment, a thought crosses your mind. When machines fight wars, what role will humans have left? Just as you try to process it, you catch another shocking sight. A soldier is standing dangerously close to enemy lines, yet completely invisible. How? Because he's wearing a smart uniform, an adaptive fabric blending seamlessly with the surroundings, rendering him nearly undetectable. Something that once belonged only in science fiction movies now feels terrifyingly real. All of this might sound like a futuristic fantasy, but technology is advancing so rapidly that tomorrow's battlefield could be stranger, and far more dangerous, than we can imagine today. Which leads to the ultimate question. If wars of the future are fought with drones, robots, and invisibility, where will humanity stand in the middle of it all? Have you ever imagined a future where wars are not fought on the battlefield, but behind computer screens? What if an enemy doesn't attack with tanks or missiles, but by hacking into an entire financial system? Picture this. One morning, millions of people wake up to see their bank accounts empty, ATMs shut down, and online transactions completely frozen. Could an entire nation be brought to its knees, without a single bullet being fired. Now think about this: what if the internet itself suddenly went dark? Social media platforms silenced, emails inaccessible, hospital records vanished, airplanes losing contact with their control towers. In just a few hours, would the world descend into panic and chaos? And what if the force behind this wasn't soldiers on the ground, but a hacker or even an advanced artificial intelligence? Could a simple line of code, a hidden virus, or a manipulated software update become more powerful than any weapon of war? In the battlefield of cyber war, the enemy is invisible. No uniforms, no physical weapons, just a computer and a network connection. But here's the real question: is the world truly prepared for such a scenario? Can governments and individuals protect their digital lives, or will the future belong to those who control cyberspace? One thing is certain: the most dangerous war of tomorrow may not involve bombs or rifles at all. Instead, it might be fought with keystrokes, where the silence of a blackout is louder than any explosion. Have you ever imagined what would happen if the wars of the future no longer took place on Earth, but in the vastness of outer space? Picture this: in a single moment, satellites are destroyed, GPS signals vanish, and the entire global communications system collapses. The devices we rely on every second, our phones, navigation systems, even the internet, are all tied to satellites orbiting above us. But what if, suddenly, they all went dark? What kind of world would we wake up to? Now, push this vision further: a future where the battlefield isn't on land, sea, or air, but in the silent vacuum of space. Weapons we only see in sci-fi movies today could become a terrifying reality tomorrow. Imagine powerful systems orbiting the Earth, capable of striking any target from above with unmatched precision. Space stations that once served as research hubs could turn into heavily guarded military bases. Could it be that, one day, control over Earth's future might be decided not on the ground, but hundreds of miles above our heads? And then comes an even bigger question. As humanity begins to build settlements on the Moon and Mars, will they remain symbols of hope and exploration, or could they become the next arenas of conflict? Will the first colony on the Moon be remembered as a beacon of peace, or could it transform into a fortified outpost for power? Will the cities of Mars become homes for dreamers chasing new horizons, or the opening chapter of a new Cold War? It's a paradox of human ambition. On one hand, reaching for the stars to create a better future, and on the other, risking that same future by turning the heavens into a stage for battle. So, what path will humanity choose? Will space become the birthplace of our greatest achievements, or the frontier of our most dangerous conflicts? Have you ever wondered what would happen if the world's most valuable treasure wasn't gold or oil, but water? What if the same water that feels so ordinary today became the very reason for the biggest conflicts tomorrow? What if rivers had borders guarded with weapons? What if people turned against each other for just a single drop of water? Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? We see water every day and take it for granted. But what happens when the supply of fresh water starts to vanish? Will cities begin selling water on the black market, where a single bottle could cost more than gold? Will families lock away their water tanks like treasures inside vaults? And it's not just water. Other resources are disappearing too. What happens if fertile land for farming becomes scarce? What if crops fail because there simply isn't enough water to grow them? Could the future see a piece of bread or a single fruit valued like diamonds today? Now imagine this: rivers drying up, rainfall stopping, underground reserves collapsing. Where will the people go? Will they migrate in search of survival? Or will nations clash over what little is left? Could the battlefields of the future revolve not around weapons, tanks, or drones, but around rivers, lakes, and underground wells? These are questions with no certain answers today, but in the near future, they might become a frightening reality. So ask yourself, could the next great war of humanity be fought not for land, not for power, not even for technology, but for a single drop of water? Droplet. Have you ever wondered what it would look like if, on the battlefield of the future, a soldier's greatest enemy wasn't another human, but a ruthless machine? Imagine a robot soldier, one that never feels hunger, never grows tired, never fears death. The question is, can a human heart ever defeat a heartless machine? Or will logic and raw power always win over emotion, Picture a soldier standing in the chaos of war. His strength doesn't come from steel or circuits. It comes from the memory of his family, the dreams of his children, the love for his homeland. He fights with passion, with hope, with sacrifice. But what happens when that very soldier faces a machine that knows no love, no fear, and no hesitation? Is the emotional strength of a human greater than the cold, calculated precision of a robot? Could there come a day when machines grow so advanced that they turn against the very humans who created them? Or will mankind always find a way to outsmart and control its own inventions? And here's the real question. If machines win, what happens to humanity? But if humans win, can they truly keep machines as their servants forever, or will that balance always be at risk? Maybe this will be the greatest battle of all time, not a battle of weapons, but a battle of spirit versus logic, of emotion versus perfection. On one side, the weakness of the human body, but also the unmatched strength of love, courage, and sacrifice. On the other side, a machine that never makes mistakes, never tires, but can it ever understand the meaning of a heartbeat? In the end, who decides the future? Is tomorrow owned by humanity, or will machines rewrite destiny? That question may be the final test for the survival of mankind. Friends, remember, all these scenarios are just, what if, imaginations, not reality. The real purpose behind them is to learn how dangerous wars can be for humanity and why peace is the only true solution. Because no matter if a war is fought on land, in cyberspace, or even in outer space, its ending is always destruction. But here's the big question. If one day a real war breaks out in space, satellites destroyed, communication lost, the Earth drowned in silence and darkness, would humanity actually survive? Thinking face. If this video made you think, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking and mind-opening stories. In the next video, we'll explore another shocking, what if, that might just change the way you see the future. Rocket.